The union organization process. Management and the new process. You may be asking, why did the employees seek to unionize in the first place? We will explore why this happened, the organization process, and the methods of unionization. Possible reasons for unionization. What is the unionization process? To help you understand more about the unionization process, we will start with the definition. It is the process of organizing the employees of a company into a labor union which will act as an intermediary between the employees and company management. In most cases, it requires a majority vote of the employees to authorize a union. The employees may be seeking to unionize for many reasons. Some reasons are that they are looking to improve work and job conditions. They're looking for higher salaries and better health benefits. They may also be seeking job security or may be overall dissatisfied with the job, yet they want things to get better for them instead of just leaving the company. How the organization process begins. As with many things, there is a process. Unionization is a process that you as managers and the employees will both be involved in. The National Labor Relations Act determines and guides the process of unionization in accordance with Section 7 of the Act. There are two ways in which this process begins. The first is internal, which happens when employees contact a union organizer and request to unionize. The second is external, which is when a union organizer contacts the employees. Union organization process. The employees have decided that they want to be represented by a union. The union informs the National Labor Relations Board. By presenting authorization cards signed by the majority of the employees, and then filing a petition for an election. The union may also petition for recognition without an election, which is called the card check method. Next, we have the organizing drive, and it is ran by the union. If the company chooses not to recognize the union voluntarily, there will be a designated period of time where the union will contact the employees to tell them about the benefits that unionization offers to them. We are legally obligated to provide the union with a list of all the employees in the bargaining unit along with their contact information. And no, there is no opting out. The list must be provided, otherwise we will face legal trouble as the employer. The union representation election is held by way of secret ballot. This is where the employees will vote. This process may take one single day or many days. An NLRB representative will count those ballots to ensure that those qualified to be part of the bargaining unit voted. The outcome of unionization will be based on these elections. The union will either be certified as the employee's bargaining representative, or the company may remain union-free. Collective bargaining. If the union is certified as the employee's bargaining representative, our company will be legally required to negotiate in good faith. This does not mean that we have to agree to any contract, but simply to come to an agreement without malicious intent. Once we agree on a contract with the union, the employees will vote to either accept or reject the terms. If the union, the employer, and the employee cannot agree, the union has three choices. They can give up, they can give in, or go on strike. During this unionization process, both the union and the employer will engage in activities before the election. For details on these restrictions based on these activities, refer to the Taft-Hartley and Wagner Act. Once these efforts begin, you as a manager and the union must adhere to the requirements or the results can be appealed and even overturned. There are three methods of unionization: the Voluntary Recognition method, the National Labor Relations Board Directives, or by way of secret ballot elections. Voluntary recognition. It is the least confrontational and easiest way to unionize. With this method, the union asks the company to recognize the union directly. The employer voluntarily decides to recognize the union by way of union authorization cards. Union authorization cards are signed by the majority of the employees in favor of the union. A union officer will approach a management representative, and if the manager agrees to voluntarily recognize the union, a neutral third party will often compare the cards against the names of the employees in that department to verify that a majority of employees want a union. This is called a card check procedure. National Labor Relations Board Directives. In rare and very controversial cases, the NLRB may direct the employer to recognize and bargain with the union. This method is used when it is clear that a fair election is not possible due to employer unfair labor practices. A GISL bargaining order is issued with federal judicial enforcement, which directs and forces the employer to recognize and engage in collective bargaining with the union. This method is not used very often. If the NLRB and the courts conclude that an employer has committed flagrant and usually numerous violations of the law, this method will be used. The third method is the secret ballot election, which is conducted under the National Labor Relations Board supervision to determine whether the majority of employees in an appropriate bargaining unit want to be represented by a union for collective bargaining purposes. 50% plus 1 is the number of employees that must be in favor of the union in order for the National Labor Relations Board to certify the union. Usually, the election is conducted during work hours on payday at the actual company site where the employee works, but they can also mail in their ballots to the NLRB.